Welcome back to part two. Now that we've taken a look at our SWOT analysis, how do we use SWOT in order to drive strategic planning and to drive competitive focus? Now remember, helpful, strengths and opportunities, harmful, weaknesses and threats, but you can't ignore them. We understand they're harmful, but if you really understand who's your competitor or who's your competition, if you really understand your weaknesses internally, then you can account for them, you can do better, you can improve upon them, etc. So some potential issues to consider: potential strengths, financial resources, agility to market, customer brand loyalty. Look at Nike. Nike has built an empire by really driving brands through heavy promotion. And because they have such a strong brand, people buy Nike products. They like Nike products. To me, a workout t-shirt is a workout t-shirt. You know, I sweat in it and I throw it into the washing machine. But boy, a lot of people like to be seen at the gym with that swoosh on their, on their shoulder. So also economies of scale. You know, if you're a large manufacturer, that means you get a lower price or a lower cost because you're producing more. Some internal weakness: lack of direction, lack of focus on the disruption that is going to happen. Again, I've used Kodak a couple of times. Weak spending on R&D, sitting on your laurels, maybe not having good state-of-the-art production capabilities, or maybe not having financial resources backing you. Opportunities, that's where we're really going to go after. If you're in a rapid growth market, go out and get aggressive. If you've got changing tastes of the customers, that happens oftentimes, look for it, plan for it, and hit it on the head. New product or development processes, all those types of things can be opportunities, as well as global expansion. Remember, we can't think domestically. The world is very small these days, so think globally. And then, of course, we talked about threats: competitors, economic threats, declining life cycle, declining usage in some things like, there's a lot of products where they have declining usage, rival firms, changing customer needs and tastes and things like that. Strengths and weaknesses are internal. They exist because of resource excellence or resource failures or shortfalls. Relationships with customers and employees can be a real strength. Strengths that in ancillary capabilities like production, like finance, or something like that. All of these strengths build a competitive advantage, and the weaknesses are something that you can't ignore. The weaknesses are something that you've got to go and you got to hit head on. So opportunities and threats, that's external. Could be competitive. Could be customer related. You've got a bad image with your customer. It could be economic related. Look at customer related with BP and some of the other ones. Walmart doesn't have the best customer relationship in the world. Could be political and legal. Could be technological, like in the case of Kodak, or sociocultural. So we take advantage of our opportunities. We try to take a look at our threats, and we try to analyze what our threats are, and we try to predict which threats are coming and when they're coming. So 6 key issues in a SWOT analysis. I'm not going to read this to you, but if I were you, I would circle this slide, and I would take a look at it, and I'd really study these issues in the SWOT analysis as it pertains to strategic focus. You might even want to pause the recording now to take a look at this. So remember what I talked about back in part 1. I said most of the time SWOT analysis is qualitative. You're taking a look and you're brainstorming your SWOT, but it also can be quantitative. And the way to do a SWOT analysis that is quantitative is really put a high, medium, or low. 1 being low, 2 being medium, or 3 being high. So you look at all your strengths, and you look at your strengths from a customer perspective. If you might think one strength is high, but if the customers don't really care about it or care for it, then it doesn't really matter. For instance, take a look at Budweiser. Budweiser has a very strong brand image. So Budweiser internally might think that that's a 3 because it is very, very strong. But a blonde lager is a blonde lager. And so a lot of people don't care about the brand. They might like any one of the blonde lagers, either a local one like Jenny or something else. So it might be a 3 to Budweiser, but it might be a 2 for in a customer's eyes, or even a 1. And the same thing with weaknesses, threats, low, medium, and high. And here's the big thing. If all of your threats are low, you're doing something wrong, because threats are extraordinarily important. And if you think that all of your weaknesses are 1s, then you're taking a narcissistic view. You think you're too good. So you've got to take a look at, again, from a customer standpoint, what do the customers think your weakness is? Customer might continue to say your price is too high. Well, you don't think so. You put that as a low. But remember, you got to take a look at what does your customer think. And then the second step is to rate those in the importance: weak, average, or major. So if a strength is high, but it's only an average strength, it's not really going to help you with your market positioning, then that would be a 2. And then finally, you cross multiply magnitude times importance, and then you can really get a quantitative SWOT analysis to make better strategic focus and competitive advantage decisions. So now let's talk about how we develop and leverage our competitive advantage. That's really the next step in planning, is to really align your strengths with the opportunities. I'm going to say that again. And that's where a lot of my students have fallen down when they've looked at case analysis. You've got to take a look at aligning your strengths with your opportunities. And if they don't align, if your strengths don't align with your opportunities, you need to develop more strengths. You also need to align your weaknesses with the opportunities. If the opportunities in your market is to develop new products and to be agile into the market, and that is one of your weaknesses, you need to really understand that. And that is going to focus your planning and really help you develop your competitive advantage. So again, look at it from your customer standpoint. So common source of competitive advantage: relationship. That would be Starbucks. Starbucks has great CRM, customer relationship management. The bell cow for CRM is Amazon. People like to shop at Amazon. Amazon develops customer relationship through not only offering multiple options for a specific product, but also talking about people who bought it. These are their comments, these are their ratings, this is what they like, this is what they dislike it. You can have a legal advantage, knowing that something's coming through. Look at the legalization of recreational marijuana. You can have an organizational advantage, meaning all of your departments, all of your functional excellences are strong. You can have a human resource advantage, and that comes to play a lot with legal and accounting firms and other things like that. Of course, product advantage, that's what we in marketing really like: product pricing and promotion and distribution. Those four bottom ones go to the marketing mix. And you've got to look at, do you have higher quality? Do you have a lower price? Do you have promotional advantage? Budweiser really takes advantage of their financial strength in order to promote. Look at Geico. Geico takes a look at their financial strength in order to promote. Therefore, they're in people's mindset. We call that the evoked set. So when someone's looking for insurance, or someone's looking to maybe change insurance companies, that goes right through it. Let me move myself out of the way. And then distribution advantage, again, would be Amazon. You click, gets there in 2 days. That's phenomenal. So competitive advantage is a real difference between firms in the customer's eyes. Look at Apple versus Samsung, especially in the United States. Apple's got about 38% market share. Apple has a strong competitive advantage with brand and also with their technology, the way their technology integrates with one another, how the iPhone integrates with the iPad, which integrates with the MacBook. That is truly a competitive advantage. Netflix has a competitive advantage because of their original content, although others are catching up. Operational excellence, again, that would be Amazon. Amazon, a click, in 2 days you get it. Product leadership, Google. Google's quality is better than anybody else. Whenever I ask Alexa something, she uses Bing, and she doesn't understand what I'm trying to ask her, or she gives me the wrong answer. I go right to Google, and it's right there. And then finally, customer intimacy. I always look at Starbucks. I mean, let's face it, a cup of coffee is a cup of coffee, but people like Starbucks. And you know, I talked about this in my strategic marketing class. It all started by writing their name on the cup. How simple is that idea? But customers dug it. They really did like it. And that's your customer intimacy. And Starbucks has built a huge reputation on customer intimacy. And then finally, we talked about operational excellence. How quickly can you get something to market? How quickly can you solve customers' problems? Do you have a lower cost of doing business? Do you have a lower cost model? Do you have anything like that? It's not just operations within marketing, but it's operations within customer service, within distribution, within production, within finance, human resources, within new product development and engineering and all those types of things. And then finally, we love to talk about product leadership, and I've talked a lot about that. Starbucks does a great job of coming out with new coffees and new flavors, as does Dunkin'. Microsoft dominates personal computing because of their product leadership. Google's product leadership is phenomenal. We talked about customer intimacy. That would be with Starbucks and Amazon and other companies like that. They've got Nordstrom here. I've never shopped at a Nordstrom. And Ritz-Carlton, I don't think I've ever stayed at a Ritz either. So I really can't comment on that. All right, we are going to finish up this chapter as we come back, starting with establishing a strategic focus in section 4.6. I will see you in part 3.